Brett Okamoto here with UFC President Dana White. UFC 230 just wrapped up inside Madison Square Garden. Daniel Cormier making history, a two-weight champion, holding both belts simultaneously, and he's now defended them both. What did you think of Daniel Cormier and the history that we're seeing right in front of our eyes?
Yeah, he looked incredible tonight. He completely shut Derrick Lewis down, and he's impressive. He's one of the greatest ever.
Yeah, a lot of people were saying we're not giving Derrick Lewis a great chance in this fight, and you were pretty adamant, hey, Derrick Lewis absolutely has a chance in this fight. What did you think of his performance?
Yeah, and listen, at the end of the day, you know, you can think what you want. He's the #2 ranked guy in the world. You know, number 1 was Stipe, #2 is Derrick Lewis. And any guy that hits like he hits, and he's been in plenty of fights where he's been in trouble, looks like he's outclassed, looks like he's going to lose, and he ends up knocking the guy out. So, but Cormier smothered him, did what he wanted with him, and ended up submitting him.
We've seen some big moments in this building. Conor McGregor winning his second belt, George St. Pierre winning his second belt, now Daniel Cormier. Where does Daniel Cormier rank for you all time?
Not only one of the all-time greats in the sport, but one of the all-time great champions, human beings, and people that we've had in the UFC. I can't say enough good things about this guy. And like I said, I told him a long time ago, if you're my champion for the rest of my career, I'm cool with that. Unfortunately, he's like 40 years old, and you can't keep doing this much longer if you're Daniel Cormier.
Yeah, well, he does turn 40 in March, and that is not very far away, but he sure looks like he's got plenty left in the tank. Do you believe him? Do you think he will be out of here by the age of 40?
He looks incredible. Yeah, I think he will. You know, the guy's made a lot of money, and he has a real future in broadcasting. He's very good. So, you know, whatever he decides to do, if he goes to 41, 42, or he calls it, you know, a wrap on his birthday, he's going to be around here working, so I think he's going to do okay.
Yeah, you don't make fights on fight night, but this one's a lock, right? Daniel Cormier versus Brock Lesnar, that is the next fight in the heavyweight division.
Should be. I mean, you don't know what you know, I can't predict anything, but yeah.
Have you heard from Brock at all tonight?
Have not talked to Brock tonight, but I haven't looked at my phone either.
Do you have any idea time frame? When would you like to see that fight happen? When would it make sense?
I don't know. Brock and I haven't talked in a little while, so, you know, he was doing his WWE stuff, and we'll see. There's no timeline. I have no time. First of all, Cormier took this thing on short notice, and so did Derrick Lewis. I appreciate and respect them both for doing it. We're going to let him have some time off and enjoy his family.
Co-main event, Jacare Souza knocks out Chris Weidman in the 3rd round. Talk about Jacare Souza. He's a guy who's had a lot of success in this promotion, has never gotten a title shot, but really a lot of his success, and this was a good performance by him.
Incredible fight, and you could tell the entire fight how determined he was to win this fight. He kept coming forward, throwing punches. Weidman picked him apart for 3 rounds, dominated the fight, I think. You know, Jacare kept the pressure on, landed unbelievable body work in that fight. Jacare and never stopped punching, and ended up clipping Weidman with not much time left in the 3rd, and wins the fight.
We knew this card coming in was looking like a showcase for your middleweight division. Who stood out to you the most tonight in the middleweight division?
Cannonier.
Really?
Yeah, oh yeah. So when they made this fight, think about it, Cannonier came in unranked, and he comes in and beats Branch. Now, if you remember, I was really high on Cannonier when he first came in at light heavyweight. I ended up putting him in against Glover Teixeira, whom he outclassed on the feet. So Teixeira took him down at will and just wrestled him. And I said, you know what, if this guy could wrestle, he'd be very dangerous. But nobody learns to wrestle overnight. So my guys come to me and they said, Cannonier wants to fight with Branch. And I'm like, no, we're not doing the fight with Cannonier and Branch. He's going to get destroyed on the ground. He's going to get wrestled to death. And, you know, it won't be an exciting fight. And you're putting the guy out there again. And Mick was like, Dana, he's begging for this fight. He's begging for it. And I'm like, he's begging for it? All right. So we put him in the fight, and wow, did he impress tonight. You know, I didn't think he could become a good wrestler overnight. Apparently I was wrong.
Yeah, it seemed like a large portion of the night, maybe a theme of it, was guys taking advantage of opportunities. Cannonier was certainly one of them. Carl Roberson moving up to the main card. He looked outstanding. And Israel Adesanya, taking advantage of his opportunity here in Madison Square Garden. What did you think of Adesanya?
Incredible, you know. But going into this fight, I already felt like the kid was incredible. I think he's the future. And, you know, but what was impressive is not what he did, because he always does it, but how he did it and who he did it to. Brunson was his first real big test, especially in, you know, not only Brunson hits like a truck, but his wrestling. And Israel looked insane tonight.
Yeah. And I would disagree with you, actually. I think that he's had some tests before. Brad Tavares, I thought, was a test as well. He's now won 4 fights in 2018 in a very short amount of time. He's created a lot of hype in a short amount of time. Not asking for his next fight necessarily, but what makes sense for Adesanya next?
But Brunson's beat some big names and some big guys. Unbelievable wrestling and hits like a truck. He can knock anybody out. And he picked him apart and made him look like he wasn't that good tonight, which is very impressive. I don't know what's next for him. I got to get back and figure it out. I don't want to rush him too fast, even though I know he wants to be rushed really fast, but I got to get this kid to pump the brakes a little bit and slow down.